Hey guys, I've started getting questions about the new FBA policy that rolls out in 2022. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. In this video, I'm going to walk through this policy update that hits April 1st, 2022. The real big question I've been getting is, hey, can I create a shipment and send it 30 days later? This policy update does not technically prohibit that, but it is very much what I sense that Amazon is trying to discourage. You can see that at the very bottom of the policy update here, where they talk about communicate with your carrier to ensure that your shipment is delivered to the address on the FBA box ID label as soon as possible, no later than 30 days. But it doesn't specifically prohibit this. For example, one of the manufacturers that I work with has a longer lead time than 30 days. So I create a shipment, I'll go into FBA and I'll say, hey, this is going to probably ship in 6 weeks. That's a pretty standard manufacturer turnaround. So that's why I actually personally care about this issue, because if they mandated cannot ship after 30 days, that'll cause some challenges. Now, really kind of the history of what this is all about, in my opinion, is that Amazon has had a lot of trouble with the supply chain and the predictions, and they really want to create more certainty of how their warehouses are going to be impacted by you as the FBA seller. And so with lead times from China slowing down into the United States, there are a lot of challenges. In addition to that, there's been a lot of bad actors who are breaking the rules and trying to cheat the system. For example, one of the hacks that probably still works, but has been heavily used in the past, is if you're trying to create a shipment, let's say you're in New York and the destination that they give you for your entire shipment is California. Obviously, your shipping costs are going to be 3 times greater than if they had given you an FBA facility in New York. So what people would do is they would delete the shipment and the next day recreate it and try and get a different location. And often what would happen is that the next day's location was way better than the previous one, saving thousands of dollars. Well, Amazon hates that, but also you'd think that their system was smart enough to break it up into 3 locations to at least be average or be fair. Whenever you do create a shipment that goes to a single location, do be prepared for the fact that if that warehouse is inundated, it could sit on a dock somewhere and none of your items will check in. So it actually behooves you to separate your inventory across locations anyway. One of the ways that you could do that is by increasing the number of times you ship into Amazon. For example, let's say you normally ship every month some nice big pallets or whatever. Instead of doing that, maybe ship in once a week, but send less inventory. That may mean you're not sending pallets. That may mean you start sending UPS boxes. The shipping cost differences between UPS boxes and pallets isn't that far apart from each other for a lot of different types of items. Now, obviously, there's going to be some use cases where pallets win all day long. There's going to be some use cases where UPS case boxes are going to win all day long. But if we look at the 80-20 rule here, 80% are going to be within 20% of the charges between both parties. And with pallets often taking significantly longer to check in, and with the supply chain uncertainties, I'm going to give net benefits over to UPS case labels most of the time. All right, so that's the biggest reason, or the biggest constraint I see with the Amazon policy update. The other thing they talk about in here is deleting shipments and sending in inventory after a shipment is deleted. Now, this is not that commonly done, I don't think. I think that there's probably some accidents happening with Amazon sellers, or what happens typically is they'll make a shipment and they realize something was wrong and then they go to remake it. That's what I typically see. And then maybe some dude in the warehouse uses the old labels instead of the new labels. You get the idea. Well, sending inventory into a deleted shipment is definitely going to be 100% prohibited after April 1st. And if that happens and they do check the inventory in, or actually, quite frankly, in the help file here, right here, it says they may reject the shipment altogether. They may just send it back, or terminate your ability to ship into FBA. So this part you have to take extremely seriously. do not send in inventory to a deleted shipment. Now, there's going to be some comments on this particular video that ask me about, well, what if Amazon deletes my shipment? I didn't delete it, Amazon did, and I've already sent it. It's on the way, or it's at the manufacturer right now. And in those situations, I think we're going to get some pushback. This is where I think that Amazon's probably going to have to update its policy to specifically say if the user deletes the shipment and not Amazon, that they'll prohibit it. So I wouldn't be surprised by probably April 15th, we see a clarifying clause on that particular session once Amazon gets some nasty feedback from the seller community, because Amazon does randomly delete your shipments, especially shipments that are older than 30 days. And that's why I think that 30 days clause is probably going to come up a little bit more and more. And Amazon's just really trying to figure out, like, how do we limit down the uncertainty of logistics right now? Their warehouses have been under a lot of pressure in the last 2 years. I think that the pressure is still pretty high. And so the last January, I thought, hey, we're going to see the IPI stuff change or the restock limit stuff change. And instead, what happened was by the time May of 2021 rolled around, it actually got worse. And so I don't think IPI or restock limits is going anywhere this year in 2022. In fact, I think that the restock limit situation is probably going to remain for the next 2 years. IPI definitely never going away, but right now IPI scores are irrelevant. If you have unlimited storage, but you can't send a shipment for a restock limit issue, none of that matters. I do have several videos on IPI explaining what I'm talking about, restock limits. Check those videos out here. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Thanks for watching.